What's going on, world? Today, I'm going to share with you guys Tasha's last day. You all deserve to know how it was spent, and I need to tell my story. Tasha worked all night. She worked a graveyard as a caretaker. Everyone who knows Tasha, she was always a caretaker. It just came natural to her. She took care of everybody, even if she didn't get paid for it. She got off at 7 a.m. That morning. I had the boat ready to go fishing, and it was a Saturday, I believe, and the kids were wanting to stay home and play games and not go out fishing with Dad. It was a beautiful day out. And Tasha wanted to come with me without getting any sleep, and I told her no. She needed to get some sleep, but you know how telling Tasha no is. She wasn't having it. So with no sleep, working graveyard, she decided to come fishing with me. I was happy to have her come, as always. We went and picked up some bait. We bought some drinks, and we loaded the boat out of the water, and we spent, which to me will be the best day of our relationship and the worst day. We spent the day talking of our future, catching a lot of fish, laughing, making love on the boat. If you guys know Tasha, she was a wild woman. She loved me very much. And she never had any problems showing me how much she loved me. We boated all day, we drank, we laughed. Then the kids called and they wanted to join. So we picked up the kids. About an hour into the kids being with us, Tasha started becoming very agitated, irritated with the kids. I didn't realize it was more than just her being an ass. So I jumped her shit. I yelled at her and I told her, knock it off. We're trying to have fun. What the hell's your problem? If you want to keep fighting with the kids, I can take you back to the dock. And that's exactly what ended up happening. I took her to the dock over no real fight reason, besides her being tired and cranky in my own selfish ways. I wasn't able to understand that and accept that, so I became argumentative and confrontational with her instead of supportive and loving and understanding. My kids, Alyssa wanted to get off the boat and go with her. We only live a few blocks from where we launch. So I told Alyssa to sit back down and we're going to go fish, and Mom's in a bad mood and she needs some time to cool down. And we went and fished. I just wanted us to cool down. It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a big fight. It didn't, stupid. Just a stupid fight. She went home very upset. I text her like every boyfriend does or husband does in a fight. She wouldn't respond. I became more agitated. I told her that if she can't even answer me, then maybe we should rethink our relationship. It was an empty threat. Clearly, everyone knows how much I love my wife. Loaded the boat out of the water. The kids and I packed everything up about an hour after Tasha left us. I came home. It just had getting dark. I dropped the kids off, except for Landon. So I dropped Moose and Landon, Alyssa off at the house. The lights were on. Everything looked normal. And I dropped them off in the driveway. Landon and I went to go get dinner. I went to go get her a euro. Make up for me being an ass. So as I was paid for the euros and standing there waiting to go home and talk to my wife, I called her. She didn't answer. Soon after, Landon came running into the store, screaming that Alyssa's on the phone and Mom's dead. I didn't know how to react. I almost waited for the food because I didn't. Your mind just can't really comprehend these things. I should have been there. I should have been more supportive. I should have grabbed her hand and told her I love her to sit back down. I know this isn't my fault. And I know that suicide isn't something normal to do for any reason. I know it was a mixture of her not being on her meds for so long that the autopsy didn't even show them, but she told me daily she was taking them. I don't know why she thought it was a weakness. It's so important to not think that you're weak because you need help. Our brains go through trauma, and trauma isn't something you can deal with on your own. You gotta reach out. You gotta ask for help. And if you can't even tell your husband what's going on in your mind, then something's wrong, and you gotta make a change. You gotta. You can't do this to your families. I think the hardest part about this is I never got to tell her I'm sorry and how much I love her. I drove home at 90 miles an hour. I was only about a mile down the street. I pulled into the driveway to my daughter and my son in the driveway screaming and crying. I ran into the garage. There's nothing I can do. I'll spare you the details on that. My world has been upside down ever since. I'll get through this, and I'll raise my kids to love somebody, to love themselves, to love each other, to swallow the small arguments, to grab the person you love in those moments and tell them you love them and you're sorry, and that you can figure these things out, no matter how small the fight is. See, life isn't always easy and sunshine and rainbows like we want Facebook or social media to believe. People argue, people fight, people are hurt, people are sad, people are dealing with things. It's your responsibility to tell someone you love how you feel. You can't hide this. It doesn't go away. It gets worse. Tasha was the most loving, supportive person I've ever met. No person has ever loved me the way she has. I'll never find that again. But I do promise one thing to myself and to my children and to my wife. If and when I do fall in love again, I will never forget the lesson that Tasha has taught me. And I hope I can share this lesson with so many. You always have to get help. And grab their hand and tell them that you love them. Don't let them walk away mad. All right. Sorry, guys. This wasn't the greatest video of the day. I just needed to share the moments, the guilt, the pain that I feel is very real. Sometimes a little overbearing. I hope this gives anybody some peace, just to understand how serious mental health is. I love you all. God bless.